Me again. In The Guardian this morning, there's an interesting person that's shown up who seems to almost know what he's talking about when it comes to banks, or she. And it's interesting when somebody that almost knows what they're talking about sticks in it and really tries to argue with these people that just do their there business in comments. It's interesting to watch. And I suppose one of the things I could say is that the beep never change their minds. Not to be expected anymore, is it really? Of course. I thought I'd go. This is right at the end. There's only 4 ups for this one, so it's right down the list. But I kept going because this fella's really giving it some work. Banks don't control the economy. Governments and central bankers do. This is what really started me thinking, oh, this is interesting. Banks don't control the economy. Governments and central bankers do. The catastrophic bust created by the mindless policies of, in the UK, Gordon Brown, created the worst recession since the Great Depression. Sure, the bankers had been stupid and lent too much money to people that they should have not lent money to, but at the end of the day, the government dog wags the bank's tail, not the other way round. The desperate attempts by politicians to lay the blame for their incredible stupidity on the banks should be called out for the nonsense that it is. Okay, so somebody comes back with it's a good strong comeback. The catastrophic bust created by the mindless policies of, in the UK, Gordon Brown created the worst recession since the Great Depression. That bit's being quoted. You are peddling the lie that's been discredited over and over again. New Labour did not sell mortgages recklessly. New Labour did not create or sell the mortgage-backed securities and collateralised debt obligations. New Labour did not rate the mortgage-backed securities and collateralised debt obligations. For your information, the Conservatives were calling for no financial regulation. The decent person comes back with the global boom had many underlying causes. In the US, Greenspan kept interest rates too low for too long, as well as Clinton and Obama insisting that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac supported loans to black Americans who essentially could not afford them. In Asia, we had a massive economic rise of China as 1.2 billion people moved from Maoism to a form of capitalism. In Europe, we had the euro that drove down interest rates to boom the economies of Ireland, Spain and Greece, et al. On top of that, we had increased free trade, World Trade Organization, globalization. In the UK, Brown added fuel to the flames by booming the economy with fiscal expansion, lunacy. Of all the things that he's pointing out, that's why he's blaming the Labour government, particularly for expanding the UK economy when the world was booming. Sure, the bankers were stupid. Northern Rock giving 110% loan-to-value mortgages, stupid. This also added fuel to the fire, but the banks don't set the rules and are regulated by the government via the regulator. You could have noted who the regulators were there, but it doesn't matter. And in the end, of course, suffered for their incompetence by losing their jobs. That's the bankers losing their jobs. Brown carried on as an MP. No regulator lost his jobs, and Mervyn King, the boss of the Bank of England, was made a knight. Sir Mervyn. Did I want to say anything more? I think that does it, because all I want to stress is what she is stressing. It is the castle that controls this stuff. The castle can control everything, but the banks especially are a notorious problem because their basic function is notoriously dangerous. they give out long-term loans, but people can expect to go in and get all their cash out shortcut term, as it were. And that cash that they get out is supplied by the government. It's linked straight into the castle. So countries that have had banks, so we're talking a long time, have huge experiences with banks, which everyone knows have got to be ruthlessly controlled at all times. Because if the shit hits the fan and you get bank runs, it is so embarrassing for the castle, because everybody outside the castle gets in a terrible flap, and the castle people don't want the people in terrible flaps. One more time, it is the castle that controls the banks. All the types of accounting that's done, everything is controlled by the castle. It's absolutely crucial to understand that. That's why I made this video, to stress it once again, that it is government, the castle owners, that absolutely must be chosen carefully, because it is they that are absolutely powerful in most all areas, but crucially are most powerful in the area of banking, which is probably pharmaceuticals, fast food outlets, who knows. Banking is the most regulated industry in the world. It's a hard job, but the castle has got to do it. And the castle does do it, but sometimes it does it badly. Because the banks out there have always had a tendency to naughtiness and need controlling with an iron fist. So, when you're going to go out to vote, bear in mind that the people that you're going to vote for will be wearing the iron glove that's going to control the banks. So who do you want to control the banks? Because that's who you're going to vote for. It's crucial, absolutely crucial.